Today I am going for my driving test. So in Ontario, where Toronto is located, first you have to clear a written test and then there are driving tests. So for the first written test you need to carry your passport of the country from where you came from, and also if you have the previous driving history in the country, you should have bought a driving extract. So before you are coming to Canada, you can get the driving extract from your road transport authority or the whosoever is the agency or the government organization which takes care of licenses. You go there and get an extract of your driving history, so that will get added onto your experience here when you will get it. So if 1 year of that will be added, so 1 year will get added just using your previous driving license, another year can get it added using the past driving history. So if you have these two, then having this 2 years allows you to directly take the G level test. G level test is the third level of the test, first written, then G2, then G. So G is what you can give directly. So now I have cleared the test. So let me go back to my house and give you all the information about what all different kinds of road tests are here. How do you get the license? What is the different category of license? All the documents that you need. What's the process? Let me go back and explain you everything. In Canada, individual provinces or states, as we call in many countries, they decide their own driving licensing requirements. So if you are in Toronto, which is in the Ontario province of Canada, here the driving licenses for car is like G1, G2, G. If you are in Vancouver, it would be like class 5, class 7, that is the British Columbia province. So in this video, I'll talk about Toronto, Ontario province, because I am in Toronto, and I'll share you all the details of how you can quickly get your full driving license within a few days, and I'll share my experience with you. In Ontario, for driving a car and SUV, the driving license that we need is a G class of license, and for driving various other kind of vehicle like buses, trucks, school bus and multiple other things, there are various different kind of licenses like class A, B, C, D and all that. Now G, I'll talk about the G license which is for driving car and SUV, and that is the license which I have got. So this is of 3 levels. First level, the basic, is G1, then it is G2 and then G. G is the final full license that you get, and G1 and G2 have certain restrictions of how you can drive, when you can drive and all those, right, and where you can drive. Now this is called graduate licensing, G1, G2, G, right? And a normal duration to go from G1 till G, it takes 2 years, right? But if you fulfill certain requirements, which I did, then you can cover this whole path. You can get the full G license within a few days only. Okay, let me share with you how I did it and what all other ways that you can get it. The first way is, if you already have a driving license from a country with which Ontario has a driver license exchange agreement, right? Countries such as US, UK, Australia, France, Germany. In this case, you don't have to appear for any tests. Just go with your license of that country and get it exchanged for a full G license of Ontario. Without any test, within 1 day you'll get a full license. Okay, that's one way. Another way is, if you have a driving license from that country which does not have a license exchange agreement with Ontario. For example, India, Pakistan, China, Philippines, Brazil, Nigeria and multiple other countries. So in this case, you have to present your driving license of that country and also a driving abstract. This driving extract you can get from your road transportation organization which issues licenses. They will provide a driving license abstract document as well, and that should show that you have more than 2 years of driving history. If you can present these two documents, your license and the driving abstract, then all the time period of going from G1, G till G, all those will be removed and you can quickly proceed through in the certain steps, right? You need to perform certain steps, unlike if you have a direct license exchange agreement. So what are those steps? First step is you need to pass your G1 test. G1 is a written test, and for this you can directly walk in at any drive test center in Ontario without any appointment and appear for the G1 drive test. Here you will need to submit your passport of the country from where you have come, your driving license of the country, and also your driver abstract, right? And now make sure your driver abstract that you have obtained, it is sealed, signed, and it is not more than 6 months old. Otherwise they may not accept it. Okay. Now once you give the G test, it consists of two sections. One is about the traffic signs and another is about the rules of driving. You can give it on paper, you can give it on computer. I gave it on computer, and also you can give it in multiple languages. So English, French, Hindi, Punjabi, Urdu, Arabic, there are multiple languages. Once you give it on a computer, that's where I gave, as soon as you submit the final answer of those both the sections, like each has 20 questions, 40 questions, as soon as you submit the answer, immediately it will show whether you have passed or you have failed. So you need to get at least 16 questions correct out of 20 in both the sections. Okay. In case you fail either one of the section, then at that time itself, like while you are in that test center, go and pay a retest fee, and then and there you can appear for the retest of this G1 test. And you will be required to pass only that section which you failed, not both the sections. Okay. And once you pass that, you will get a G license, right? They will print and they will give you, this is your driving license number, it will show G1 and all that. Now if they had accepted your driver abstract and driving license, then what you can do is, after passing the G1 test, immediately after that you can register for the G road test. G is the final road test. You can register at that time itself. For that you need to go onto the website of driving test of Ontario, look for an available slot of the drive test center of your choice, and say if you see a slot available after 3 days, you can book it, right? And after 3 days you can go give your driving test and pass it. This is how I did, and that is how I got my full G license within a few days. Now few very important tips to keep in mind. One thing is that you are allowed to give the G test directly like this after G1 to G only once. If you fail your G test because of whatever reason, then you will not be allowed to give the G drive test again directly. First you will have to appear for G2 drive test, and then you will have to give your G test. So this is only one chance that you get. Now how to prepare to make sure you can pass your G1 written test, right? And then I'll talk about how to make sure that you pass your driving test as well. So for written test, ideally you should read through the driver's handbook, which is available on the Ministry of Transportation website. It has a lot of useful information about driving in various conditions, various rules, and all the penalties and everything. That is a very useful resource for you to go through. Apart from that, you should also practice the test questions, right? And for that you can search for a guide called DHSG. You can ask your friends if they have that guide, or you can search over internet. I have heard from many people that a lot of questions from that guide repeats in the actual test, right? You can also search on the website called apnatoronto.com, G1.ca, and G1 Genie test app. These are all very good resources of getting quality questions that will help you in passing the written test. And now coming to the driving test. Now for driving test, you should have proper practice here in Ontario, right? You may be a very good driver back in your home country, but here driving may be a little different, the rules are different, so you definitely need to practice. And for that I strongly recommend learning from a certified driving instructor. That person will know what all mistakes a new driver can make that will make that person fail in the drive test. You know, how you should drive, how you should change lane, how you should brake, how you should not do something. So all that person would know, right? Don't learn from your friend or family, because if they don't know exactly what is the right way of driving, they will pass on that incorrect way of driving to you also, and then you will fail. Okay. And during the test, that invigilator, who's our examiner, they have a very long checklist of whether you are putting the brake on time, whether you are signaling on time, and multiple other things. So that driving instructor would know what all are those important things, and then the person can make sure that while you are learning this driving with him or her, you are ensuring that everything is at the right level as per the test standard. And during the test day, again I'll recommend going there along with your driving instructor, and also in his or her car. Why? Because first is you have practiced in that car, so you are comfortable, so it will be easier for you to drive around and pass the test. Second is the driving instructor can take you on the exact route on which you will be driving during your test, and then you can familiarize yourself with that route and keep in mind what all the important things about that route, what all you should be aware about, right? So that will also help you during the test. And the third thing is, the car of these driving instructor, they have a brake on the passenger side as well. So your examiner will be little more confident while you are driving, because he or she will think that, you know, they also have a little bit control on the car, because they can also put a brake if you make some mistake. So it will be easier for them also, you know, to be in a proper state of mind, not to be panicked while sitting with you. So just keep all these things in mind. And one more thing before we end this video, you can also go for a beginner driving course. This is a proper course certified and designed by the Ministry of Transportation. If you complete this course, not only you will get the practice of driving car on the road, you will also learn for your written test, and the certificate that you will get, like at the end, just like the driver abstract that you have got from your home country, the driver abstract that you will get in Canada, that will also mention that you have completed this driving course. And you can use this driver completion certificate, this thing, when you buy a car, and then you can use this in getting the insurance. So you will get a good discount, decent discount, if you have completed this test. And car driving insurance, like car insurance, is very costly. So this is very helpful, not just for passing the test but also for insurance. So go ahead and do that driving course, that will also be helpful. Okay.